Hello, 7th graders. This is Miss Wetland here. Today we're going to start our section on fractions and being able to simplify and eventually multiply and divide fractions is where we're going for this. What you're going to need to have out in front of you as you watch this Edpuzzle is a fraction packet, which should be posted in Google Classroom for you. Currently, I am on the first page of that fraction packet. And a big part of simplifying is just really knowing your factors or knowing what numbers go into other numbers, or at least being able to know your multiplication facts and division facts for them. So if we take a look at this, the first thing you're going to do is try to fill in this multiplication table. So basically this is saying like 1 times 2. Well, 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. And then 1 times 4, and you see the pattern. So take a moment, maybe pause the video, and see if you can fill in the multiplication table. For example, this next one would be like 2 times 3 here. Excuse me, not 2 times 3, 2 times 2, which is 4. This is the 2 times 3 where they got 6. But yeah, pause the video and just take a moment and see if you can fill in and complete the multiplication table accurately. Do you know your multiplication facts? Because that's going to be beneficial when we get into simplifying fractions. Right. Hopefully you've completed the entire multiplication chart. I'll take a look at that when you return to school and just see how you're doing at your multiplication facts. But now we're going to get into page 2 of the packet and see how you do at simplifying. Simplifying fractions are getting it down so that the greatest common factor between the two numbers is 1 that goes into them. So the first thing that probably is helpful is always to look at the smaller number and decide, does it go into the bigger number evenly? So does 6 go into 9 evenly with like nothing left over? And it doesn't. So if that doesn't work, then the next thing I always try to look at is see what number goes into both of them. And if you can find their greatest common factor, or the number that goes into both of them that is the biggest, that's going to make the simplifying easier. So when I look at 6 and 9, I know from my multiplication chart up here that they are both factors of 3. 6 and 9, 3 goes into both of them. So I'm going to take 6 and 9 and I'm going to divide them both by 3. And so if I divide the top by 3, I get 2, and the bottom by 3, I get 2/3. So 6, 9 simplifies down to 2/3. Again, remember I said when simplifying to always take a look and see, does the smaller number go into the larger number? Does 3 go into 12 evenly? If you're not sure, you can look back up at your chart and you see, does 3 go into 12? Yep, it goes in 4 times. So that means that I can divide them both by 3. So I'm going to show the divided by 3. When I divide by 3 by 3, I get 1. But when I divide 12 by 3, I get 4. Excuse me. So 1/4 is my simplest form. Does 5 go into 10? Yep. So I'm going to divide them both by 5. When I divide the top by 5, I get 1, and the bottom by 5, I get 2. Now 10 and 25. Does 10 go into 25 evenly? No. But I'm going to use my divisibility rules and think about them. They end in a 0 and a 5, so what number goes into both of them? And that is the number 5. So I'm going to divide both by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So now I'm at 2/5, and that's going to go this way. Does 4 go into 20? Again, remember, if you don't know, you look on your chart, you look at your 4, and yep, 4 goes into 20, and if you go up, it will tell you how many times. So if I take and divide them both by 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 20 divided by 4 is 5, so it'd be 1/5. Does 8 go into 12? Nope, but I have to think about a number that goes into both 8 and 12. If you're not sure, you could kind of look on your chart and see, do you see a row that has both an 8 and 12? I can see 1 for 2, so I know 2 goes into both of them. But if I had my chart complete, you'd also see that 4 goes into both 8 and 12. And you could see how many times by going up the chart. So if I divide them both by 4, I get 2, and then underneath 12 divided by 4 is 3. 35 and 40. They're pretty close numbers and big numbers. 35 does not go into 40 evenly, but if I divide them both by 5, because I see that they end in a 5 and a 0, I get 7/8. Now if I look at 64 and 72, 64 does not go into 72 evenly. And maybe I'm not very good at my factors, but I know that they're at least both even. I could divide by 2. And when I divide them both by 2, I end up with 32 over 36. Well, I always want to double check and make sure, did I choose the greatest common factor? Up here, we always chose the greatest common factor because there are no numbers that go into 2 and 3 or 7 and 8 or 2 and 5 evenly. But here, if I look at 32 and 36, I can say, they're both still even. So I know for sure I could divide them by 2 again. I might also want to look to see, is there a bigger number I could divide them both by? But if I divide by 2, I get 16 over 18, and they're still even, so I have to divide them both by 2 again, and I get 8/9. Now, had I picked the number 8 over here, oops, sorry about that, I would have gotten straight to 8/9, but sometimes you might have to simplify a few times to get to simplest form. I know 8/9 is in simplest form because there is no other number that goes into both 8 and 9. How about 30 and 100? Does 30 go into 100 evenly? 30, 60, 90? No. But they end in 0. So using your divisibility rule, what number do they go into? What number goes into them? 10. So 30 divided by 10 is 3. 100 divided by 10 is 3/10. How about 42 and 54? Okay. Maybe you're thinking evens. Maybe you're thinking 3, or maybe you're thinking 6. All of those would work. I'm going to choose 6 because it's the largest factor, and 42 divided by 6 is 7, and 54 divided by 6 is 9. So 7/9. You're amazing. We finished it. That's how you go about simplifying fractions. We really want to get good at this because this will make multiplying and dividing fractions much easier. What you're going to now do is go on to the Riddle Me This pig worksheet. For each of these numbers, you're going to simplify them. Again, you're going to show me what number did you choose to divide by. For example, when I see 24 and 36, I see that 12 goes into both of them. So I'm going to divide them both by 12, and I get 2/3. Then I go down here, and if I see a 2/3 anywhere, I'm going to place an A above it. Know that not all the fractions are down below here. So you're going to simplify from A to Z. Some will go down there to answer the question, why shouldn't you play basketball with pigs? But some of them are not going to be up there, and those will be the ones we'll definitely correct and take a look at in class. All right, thank you. Have a great day.